All right, what's up everybody? This is a video for the 8th grade review, specifically relating to solving equations. All right, so today what we're going to do is go over the steps to solving equations, which you're going to see over here, and we're going to show you an example of using these steps to solve an equation. First, how do I know this is an equation? Well, we have an equal sign, okay? And this equal sign tells us that there's two sides to this equation, okay? This is one side, this is the other, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is take a look at our steps, all right? What's the first step to solve an equation? To use the distributive property, all right? For a quick reminder for you guys, we always distribute whenever we have parentheses. Do we have parentheses in this equation? Yes, on the left side of the equation. So the distributive property means to multiply the term outside to each term inside the parentheses, okay? So first thing we're going to do is distribute. So we're going to multiply 5 to our x term, which is actually 1x. So 5 times 1 is going to give you 5, and we have 1x, so it's 5x. Then we write the same operation, a plus sign, and then an addition sign, and then we do 5 multiplied 2, 10, okay? And then whenever we're solving equations, we bring down everything else, okay? So bringing down the 2x, bringing down the addition sign, bringing down the 25. Next, we finished our first step, okay? The next step is to combine like terms on the same side. I'm going to stress same side. So we know each side is divided by this line that I drew in the middle. So on our left side, do we have any like terms? As a quick reminder, a like term is when you have a term with the same variable or the same with the same exponent. Does these two terms have the same variable? No, only one term has x. On the other side, do we have two like terms? No, this term has an x variable, this term does not. And a real quick, you might be confused because hold on, 2x and 5x are like terms because they have the same variable, but are they on the same side? No. Okay, so we're done with step 2. All right, step 3, move the variable to one side only. Okay, so what that means is if we look at our equation, we have two variables, two x terms. Okay, so what we need to do is get our x terms on the same side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first think about a little saying that you're going to hear throughout this year is move the molehill, not the mountain, okay? So all that means is move the term with the smaller number. So here, 5x and 2x. 2x is our molehill because it's smaller than 5x. So we're going to move that to the other side. So to move that to the other side, we have to do the inverse or the opposite of this is a positive 2x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from this side. And what we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 2x. If you notice, I wrote the 2x under our x term, not under 10. So for example, I could write subtract 2x here, but that doesn't it's going to be a lot easier if you subtract your x term right underneath your other x term. All right. So here, I'm going to solve this. 5x subtracting 2x is 3x. Then I bring down everything else. Plus 10, bring down my equal sign. 2x subtracting 2x is 0, so I don't need to write that. And what do I have left? I'm going to bring this down. Instead of writing plus 25, I can just write 25 because that's the same thing as a positive 25. All right, we're almost there, okay? So next step is we are going to undo addition or subtraction, okay? So boom, I see adding 10. So I'm going to undo it or do the inverse. What's the opposite of adding 10? Subtracting 10. What do I do to one side? I have to do the other. Plus 10 subtract 10 is going to equal 0. So this cancels out. 25 subtract 10 is going to give me 15, and I bring down what I have left, the equal sign, and then I bring down the 3x, which I have over here, okay? I'm almost there. I finished my step 4. The last thing I'm going to do is undo multiplication or division. Now this might be a little confusing at first, but do we see any division signs here? We do not. Do we see any multiplication signs? We do not. But we're going to do a quick review. If you remember, anytime you see a number written right next to a variable, that means that 5, that number, the coefficient, is multiplying the variable, okay? So for example, if we have 3 multiplying x, I can also write that as 3x. So this looks pretty familiar because what we see in here is we see a 3x, right? So we know this is multiplication, okay? So I need to undo it. So what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide by 3. And what do I do to one side? I do to the other. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And what do I have left? X equals 15 divided by 3 is 5. So now, do I need to write this 1 here? No. Okay. All right. So what is our solution? X equals 5. All right. And there you go.